What's up, everybody? It's your girl Brittany coming back at you with another video. Before we get into this, I'm gonna need y'all to hit that like button and subscribe with post notifications on so you can keep up with all the latest trending news and gossip going on in these social media streets. This is an update to Kastellio Vaughan's story. If you haven't watched my previous videos regarding his current situation, I suggest you do. In this video, we will briefly discuss Kastellio's status, but we will mainly be discussing the statewide shutdown and taking a first-hand look at the inhumane conditions, brutality, and medical neglect throughout Alabama prisons. Since the last update, Alabama Department of Corrections released a statement claiming the facility had been trying to assist Kastellio with his medical needs. However, he had allegedly been denying medical treatment. The statement reads, Inmate Kastellio Vaughan has signed the Inmate Authorization for Release of Health Records, which allows the Alabama Department of Corrections to disclose additional details about his medical history that have contributed to his physical condition. Vaughan was admitted to Jackson Hospital in Montgomery on August 5, 2022 for a bowel obstruction and underwent surgery. The surgery was due to a complication from a previous gunshot wound. Following the surgery, he opted to be discharged against medical advice on August 10, 2022. He was again admitted to Jackson Hospital on September 3, 2022 for post-surgical complications. He, once again, opted to be discharged against medical advice on September 7, 2022 and refused all medication. In addition, inmate Vaughan has repeatedly refused medical assessment and medical treatment while in the custody of the Alabama Department of Corrections following his return against medical advice from Jackson Hospital. The Alabama Department of Corrections offers medical assessment and treatment to all inmates, but does not force them to accept that care. Kastellio's sister Kassie shared a ADOC statement to her Facebook account saying their statement was a lie. In a series of Facebook posts, she wrote, "Wow, this is a lie. Alabama Department of Corrections, you all have now violated my brother's HIPAA. He never signed any waiver. If that's the case, he would have let me get his medical reports/history. He is not in the correct mental state to sign anything. Kastellio refused medical help? I thought he was receiving medical help. Alabama Department of Corrections. How are you now saying he refused medical help? I promise if I take my last breath fighting for my brother's justice, I will. A cover-up is what it is. If Kastellio refused medical help, he didn't know what he signed or he was still in a delirious state. Y'all will answer to everything, I promise that." And then she tagged Governor Ivey, #Justice for Kastellio Vaughan. When it came to Kastellio Vaughan's medical help, Elmore Correctional Center dropped the ball. Post-surgery indicates pain medications, etc. He can't be in the correct state of mind to make judgment on his health. A couple of days ago, you all made a post saying he was receiving medical help. Today, y'all state he refused it. Suspicious. #Justice for Kastellio Vaughan. Good morning, everyone. Update regarding my brother. As of today, September 29th, 2022, I have spoken to my brother. He is in good spirits and we are still praying for him to get better. His feet are still swollen, the size of footballs. The back of his leg and top of his feet are hard and discolored. He is still not able to walk. He is still using a pamper as an undergarment. The hole in his chest is still there. He thinks that it's infected. My brother is scared to lose his legs and his life. I will keep you all updated. He is still placed at Staton Correctional Facility. I'm glad that I had the courage to seek medical help for my brother. He could have died, but the God I serve will get him through this. Someone in the comments asked if Kastellio was taken to a hospital yet, and Kassie responded no. Update regarding my brother. Last update, I informed y'all that I had spoken with my brother. I have spoken with my brother every day since then. He is still currently placed at Staton Correctional Facility. My brother stated that he is being strong. He is also eating what he can due to a statewide shutdown going on in the Alabama prisons. An inmate has informed me that he is still helping Kastellio with daily things. I believe that he still needs to be transferred to a free world hospital. My brother is remaining as strong as he can for his kids and his family. I ask that you keep him and his family in your prayers. Sorry I've been missing. I needed a mental break. Thank you all so much. #Justice for Kastellio Vaughan. Did you peep how Kassie said Kastellio is eating what he can due to the statewide shutdown in Alabama prisons? Well, if you did not know, prisons all across the state of Alabama have been on shutdown for about 9 days now. On Monday, September 26, 2022, thousands of Alabama inmate workers began a labor strike to protest poor living conditions and draw attention to the overcrowding crisis in Alabama prisons. According to justice.gov, Alabama prisons have been overcrowded and understaffed for years. The U.S. Department of Justice sued the state in 2020, alleging that conditions in men's prisons violate the Constitution because of a failure to protect men from inmate-on-inmate violence and SA, excessive use of force by staff, and failure to maintain safe conditions. The U.S. Department of Justice said the prisons are rife with drugs, weapons, and suffer from poor management. The state has acknowledged problems but denies the conditions violate the Constitution. The case will be headed to trial in 2024. On top of protesting poor living conditions and drawing attention to the overcrowding, Alabama inmates are also calling for a more transparent and streamlined parole process, which includes the creation of a review board to oversee the Alabama Bureau of Pardons and Paroles, a reduction of the 30-year minimum for juvenile offenders down to 15 years before parole eligibility, and a repeal of the Habitual Felony Offenders Act. The Habitual Felony Offenders Act was passed in 1977, and its mandatory punishments include a life without parole sentence for anyone convicted of a Class A felony with any 3 prior felonies on their record, and a life sentence for anyone who was convicted of a Class B felony with any 3 prior felonies on their record. According to Smart Justice Alabama, the law means someone could be sentenced to die in prison for a single burglary or robbery and 3 prior forgery or drug convictions.
In December of 2019, an online story about Willie Simmons went viral. People around the world were stunned to learn that Mr. Simmons had served over 38 years in prison for a single robbery he committed in 1982. Simmons was sentenced to a mandatory life without parole under Alabama's draconian Habitual Felony Offender Act because he had 3 prior property crimes on his record. Celebrities and politicians expressed outrage. His story was picked up by major media outlets, and millions of people around the world signed petitions to free Mr. Simmons. So why is he still locked up in an Alabama prison? Simmons is one of over 500 men and women serving the maximum punishment available because of this outdated law. Alabama's Habitual Felony Offender Act, or HFOA, is a merciless measure passed in the 1970s and has long been considered the harshest so-called 3 strikes law in the nation. It imposes longer penalties each time someone commits a felony, and for years mandated a life without parole sentence for anyone with 3 prior crimes on their record who was convicted of a Class A felony, like robbery, burglary, or even manufacturing of a controlled substance. The law meant Willie Simmons, convicted of a single robbery that involved no physical injury, was sentenced to die in prison because of 3 prior convictions for grand larceny, a nonviolent property crime. The law did not care if a decade or more had passed between the crimes or if all the charges resulted from the same incident. Judges had 0 discretion. So what did this do to Alabama's prison population? It exploded, growing over 400% in 40 years to become the most overcrowded in the nation, largely because of the bloated sentences imposed under HFOA. In the population that includes Willie Simmons, over 70% are now older than 50. In fact, during the last 40 years, the number of incarcerated people over the age of 50 in Alabama has increased by 3,000%. Research shows longer sentences do not equal increased public safety, and the cost of incarcerating a person beyond 50 doubles due to healthcare needs, not to mention the terrible human cost of removing people from their families and communities for life. In recent years, Alabama has passed newer sentencing guidelines that would not impose a terminal sentence on Willie Simmons if he was convicted today. But lawmakers did not make them retroactive, which means anyone sentenced under HFOA, including Mr. Simmons and hundreds of others, is stuck in a dead-end sentence.
According to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, inmates who are medically able are required to work to keep prisons running. Institution work assignments include employment in areas like food service, laundry, plumbing, groundskeeping, etc., with inmates earning 12 to 40 cents per hour. In some states, they don't get paid at all because the U.S. Constitution's 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery and involuntary servitude, still allows it for people convicted of crimes.
So prisons in America specifically are some of the biggest, most dysfunctional businesses we have in our society. And they're business because of the cheap and free labor. When you read the 13th Amendment, that basically was the amendment that broke through slavery and freed the men and women who were enslaved at the time. There's a clause in there that allows for the re-enslavement of people in the event that they're convicted of a crime. And so in prisons throughout our country, you have people who are working for basically free. And if they're not working for free, they're working for wages that, if we saw that happen in another country, we would be very critical of. When I was in prison, I worked for 17 cents an hour. That was my starting rate working in the kitchen. But there's also big corporations who invest in prison labor because they can get this labor for $1.50 an hour. And then the sad part about it is that, in turn, they don't even hire these men and women when they're actually released from prison. Everything in prison has inflated costs. You know, it costs us inside prison, when I was inside, anywhere between $3 and $15 for a 15-minute phone call. We don't have to pay that out here in free society. There's a way that we can send emails to men and women inside prison, and it costs 5 cents every time we send that. Whereas out here in society, we can send emails without any charge. And so there's so many ways that the prison is exploited, the cheap labor, the cost of services and goods, and it's a model that, you know, sadly and unfortunately has affected a large segment of our society. But I think most people aren't aware of why the business models of prison exist, because most of our society has been left clueless in regards to how our judicial system works. And it's largely been to the effective campaigns that politicians have ran for years. This whole idea that one of the greatest fears you should have is crime in America. And when you're operating out of a space of fear, you're not thinking clearly. So you're not willing to examine things that are right in front of us. And so the way that the prison system has developed and evolved over the year is it originally started as government-ran, state-ran institutions, and then people started seeing investment opportunities when the states couldn't keep up with the budgetary costs of incarcerating so many people. You know, we currently have over 2 million men and women incarcerated throughout the country. And we represent 5% of the world population, yet we incarcerate 25% of the world's incarcerated people. And so at some point, states could no longer keep up with those budgets. Private investors moved in and seized an opportunity. And then they started structuring laws in a way that ensured that people continue to be incarcerated for the most frivolous things. Like, 40 years ago, we didn't have as many laws on the books that we have now. And, when you look at how the war on drugs itself impacted, incarceration rates, if you follow that pathway, you'll see how people seized on that opportunity to begin to invest in private businesses.
Residents of Alabama, Louisiana, Oregon, Tennessee, and Vermont have the power to decide the fate of similar anti-slavery initiatives during state elections this November. With the inmates of Alabama being on strike, it's disrupting day-to-day prison operations. Meals are being reduced. Laundry is not being done. Guards are allegedly retaliating against inmates Work release prisoners are being bused to different facilities against their wills as temporary replacement workers to pick up the slack. There's no yard time, no commissary purchases, and no visits. It's a mess, and we will get into all of it after I read you what a representative from Alabama's governor's office said in response to the labor strike. A spokesperson for Alabama's Governor Ivey responded to the ongoing strike, calling the inmates' demands unreasonable and unwelcomed in the state. Communications Director Gina Mayola said Ivey remains first and foremost committed to ensuring public safety. She said protesters need to understand that many of their demands require legislative action that will never happen in the state of Alabama.
Alabama Governor Ivey is weighing in tonight, saying the following, quote, "These demands, as the protesters refer to them, are unreasonable and would flat out not be welcomed in Alabama. It is also important for these protesters to understand that a lot of their demands would require legislation, not unilateral action. Some of these demands suggest that criminals like murderers and serial child sex offenders can walk the streets, and I can tell you that will never happen in the state of Alabama, where we always prioritize the safety of our citizens."
No one's speaking about releasing murderers or rape or those child molesters. So I want her to stop with the foolery, and I want her to, for once, issue a statement that's based upon facts and that's based upon the fact that she's listening to the heartbeat of not just those individuals in her party, but also the individuals that she is also called to represent.
And Representative Vaughan wants to stress that we're talking about those individuals who have committed petty crimes. The head of the Alabama Department of Corrections saying tonight that so far there hasn't been a disruption of any critical services.
From what I was able to find, inmates and activists had been planning this strike since June after an inmate named Bernard Jemison at Staton Correctional Facility began to upload a series of videos showcasing inhumane conditions at the prison.
Okay, my brother. Let me get your name, man, because you look like you're in bad shape.
Shannon Hopkins.
Shan Hopkins?
Shannon Hopkins.
Shannon Hopkins. What's your AIS number, Shannon?
287316.
287316. You in bad shape. Could you tell the public what's your medical condition?
Well, right now I've got brain problems and I got prostate cancer.
You got prostate cancer and brain problems. You stated to me when I asked you, you look like you're in so much pain. Does the medication help? You say you don't. It's no medication.
You give me no Tylenol for nothing, bro.
Ain't no way they got to be giving you some kind of medication.
Nothing.
You get nothing, and it's documented in your jacket, your medical files. You got prostate cancer.
Yeah.
That's sad. That's ridiculous. And it's hard for you to walk, hard for you to breathe.
Yeah.
I've been seeing you struggling today.
Can't already pee or nothing.
You can't urinate.
Three little drops and be blood.
Urinate, blood come out your urine. Have you told the medical staff this?
Yes, they got samples and everything.
They got samples of your blood, and you still haven't gotten any kind of relief. You haven't been sent to a free world hospital.
Nothing.
You can hardly stand up. Man, this is heartbreaking. This is sad, man. This is ridiculous. And what was the doctor's excuse? When you ask for medication, what kind of excuse do they give you? And they know you got prostate cancer.
He calls me somebody else and tell me I've had some kind of other operation. He calls me somebody else's name, and then
he got you mistaken for somebody else.
Got this much somebody else's file in my file.
But in your file, it is unmistaken that you got cancer, prostate cancer.
Yes.
Are you getting any treatment for it?
Nothing. Calls me up there every now and then, wants me to piss, draw blood.
He wants you to draw blood, and when you urinate, your blood is red.
Yes.
Have you been to a free world hospital?
No.
Do you feel you need to go to a free world hospital?
I need to go.
Do you feel like you ain't got much longer left for the
They
energy?
gave me 8 to 16 months to live. My God, it's gonna help me, bro.
Man, that's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. We're gonna try to get you some help today, and hopefully people can contact the right people, and may God have mercy on your soul, my brother. Okay, hold what you got right there. This brother, please try to hold what you got. I did an interview on this man this morning, This man is in severe pain. This is no joke. This man has cancer eating through his body right now. This man is in severe pain. We need help. I can't wait till tomorrow. I can't wait till another few days from now. This man needs help. Somebody, anybody that got a heart of compassion, notify the commissioner's office, notify those who, notify the state medical staff, notify immediately those who can bring about some kind of relief to this man. This man is in severe pain. We have just prayed over him. I continue to pray over him tonight. This man is in severe pain. He needs help. And man, this is heartbreaking, man. And for a police officer or staff members to walk around and see this man like this is no joke. This man has cancer eating through his entire body. And this man needs help severely. He can hardly barely breathe. He's in constant pain. They won't accept him in the infirmary. This is a disgrace to our medical system, our justice system. This is a disgrace to everybody. Anybody seeing this video, please help. And I think through the power of prayer, God gonna touch the right heart. And I'm hoping he gets some help tomorrow. I'm hoping by tomorrow he gets some form of relief in the powerful name of Jesus Christ. I really believe that, man. And man, this is what else can I say? I'm doing what I can do. I'm risking my life doing what I can do to try to get people help. That's all I can do. Okay, hold what you got right there. This brother, just please, just try to hold what you got. I did an interview on this man this morning. This man is in severe pain. This is no joke. This man has cancer eating through his body right now. This man is in severe pain. We need help. I can't wait till tomorrow. I can't wait till another few days from now. This man needs help. Somebody, anybody that got a heart of compassion, notify the commissioner's office, notify those who, notify the state medical staff, notify immediately those who can bring about some kind of relief to this man. This man is in severe pain. We have just prayed over him. I continue to pray over him tonight. This man is in severe pain. He needs help. And man, this is heartbreaking, man. And for a police officer or staff members to walk around and see this man like this is no joke. This man has cancer eating through his entire body. And this man needs help severely. He can hardly barely breathe. He's in constant pain. They won't accept him in the infirmary. This is a disgrace to our medical system, our justice system. This is a disgrace to everybody. Anybody seeing this video, please help. And I think through the power of prayer, God gonna touch the right heart. And I'm hoping he gets some help tomorrow. I'm hoping by tomorrow he gets some form of relief in the powerful name of Jesus Christ. I really believe that, man. And man, this is what else can I say? I'm doing what I can do. I'm risking my life doing what I can do to try to get people help. That's all I can do. This is an emergency video on behalf of Shannon Hopkins, who thank you to all the emails and stuff that was sent to the nurses and the commissioner's office and so forth. He was seen. He made it up to the front and was seen. The tragedy behind this here, the nurse practitioner, Mrs. I'm going to spell her name out so that the public can see. Waugh cursed him out verbally and refused to see him, and also stated that he did not have any money on his funds account as her reasons for turning him around. Did not give him any medication, sent him totally around, turned him around, did not view him. They did receive a call from Montgomery. He was called over the nurse practitioner, Waugh, and this same nurse practitioner has a habit of cursing and verbally abusing inmates who have medical needs or need medical assistance. Did not see him. Nurse coordinator Kelly Rice, which is the coordinator at Staton, also prison, went along with it, and she is the nurse that's over disciplinary. She's supposed to address disciplinary action. She thought that that the nurse actions were okay and fine. Nurse Parker and Nurse Long are also abusive nurses at State Correctional Facility. You have these 4 nurses who, in my opinion, I think are responsible for the 6 deaths that occurred, not through drug overdose or anything of that nature. It was 6 deaths through medical neglect. 6 inmates died through cancer and other mistreatments or lack of treatments dealing with inmates at State Correctional Facility. This is a serious matter. This man is still in pain. This man still needs help. You got to tell me if you can remember exactly what did she say to you when you went over there. Don't worry about it. Don't just calm down. Please get we need more emails, and we need now that you have the nurse's name, we need these nurses dealt with, addressed immediately. And that's about all I can say, man. This is crazy.
What they do.
A quick view of the shower area this morning. The shower area. Mold on the floors. This is another day left. The rottenness on the walls. Paint is so bad it's changed the colors. And this is where inmates here at Staton have to come to shower. Over 300 men. And look at the mold real good. The shower floors. 300 man dorm, but only 15 showers. Take a look at this boy here. Wow. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. This is where we shower. This is where we are forced to shower. The share shower. 300 man dorm. 15 toilets. 15 toilets. 15 sink areas. 4 urinal stalls. 15 seats. This adequate toilet size. 300 man dorm. Over 300 some inmates on the dorm. Did you see a police officer anywhere? Nope. No police officer here. Wow.
Yeah, man, you ain't seen it yet. He got a colostomy bag on. I keep asking the nurses to change his bag because the bag they gave him is they had how long they had you wearing these bags?
Yeah, they tell me I had to wear the bag 3 to 4 days.
3 to 4 days, one bag.
And my bags, sometimes it take
a little louder.
Sometimes it take. I can't wear that bag that long because because
it's constantly running.
Yeah, it's constantly running, so it have me stinking.
You can lift your shirt all the way up, and they have you smelling, and the other inmates got to smell you.
Yeah, so they didn't want to give me another bag yesterday, so they gave me another inmate bag. That I don't even
another inmate bag.
Yeah, another
instead of giving you a bag.
Yes,
the
sir.
Nurses turned you down for a bag for what reason?
Because they said that they gave me some, and I needed to keep up with my supplies. I'm like, man,
you need to keep up with supplies.
Yeah,
wow.
I can't help it. The bags somehow keep busting on me.
It keep busting on you, and it's into your clothes.
In my clothes.
This
man,
is sad.
Clothes,
and they notice it.
Yeah, man, I'm talking about I can't help it, man.
I know, man. My heart goes out to you, man.
They're making a dangerous environment for me, man.
Man,
I need help. The officers, they just, I can't help it, man.
I know.
And they gonna want to try to lock me up now.
I know.
If they see the video or see a kids win.
Hey, and may I ask you your name right quick? May I ask you your name?
Humane Terry.
Terry, and the AIS number?
24 24 74.
24 24 74.
Date of birth 4/12/69.
Okay, and you say you got cancer also.
Right, all through my body.
And this cancer is all throughout your body.
Right, it wasn't in my living lungs first.
It's in your living lung. Now, could you lift up your shirt and let me see?
I sure can.
And what is that? Is that all fluid? Wow. And what is that? That's fluid? Your liver is swollen up like that?
Stand up like this. Stand up.
Oh
You
my
see how
God.
swollen my stomach is.
Wow.
I weigh about 123 pounds.
You weigh 123 pounds and you swollen up, and you said
5'11".
you said they also took you off medication.
Medication, my chemo. And
Your chemo, you was on chemo
and radiation.
and radiation,
Yes, sir.
and they took you off, and you feel like you still need it.
Yes, I sure do.
And are you getting any kind of pain
I
medication?
get one pain pill 3 times a day. Hot Scott, I'm a 7.5.
One pain pill 3 times a
And that
day,
ain't doing nothing.
and it ain't doing that.
No,
What?
sir.
Who is the doctor that's making all these decisions?
I don't know his name. I don't know his name. It's Dr. Bruce.
The doctor here at Staton?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. Wow. This is sad. This is sad. We're going to try to get you some help
I
ASAP.
appreciate it. I thank y'all.
All right. Hey, my brother, may I ask you, what's your name?
Billy Ray Smith.
Billy Ray Smith. What's your AI's number, Billy Ray?
1432118.
And what happened the other day that got you transferred to Donaldson prison?
Cut my pain.
Cut yourself?
Cut my penis.
Cut your penis with what?
Razor blade.
And why did you do that?
I was hearing voices.
You was hearing voices.
Yeah.
And did you get treated? Did they treat you? Did you have to get stitches?
No, I didn't cut it too deep.
You ain't cut it too deep. Did the nurses evaluate you?
They
And what
Donaldson.
And they sent you to Donaldson.
They first sent me to Donaldson for a while, and they sent me back up here. I come back yesterday. Kilby.
And what did they do for you up there? They put you in a cell and they mentally evaluated you?
Yeah.
And why did they send you back after you cut yourself?
They sent me back because I couldn't stay down long. They did something myself or somebody else.
Wow. And you still say you hearing voices that told you to cut yourself.
Yeah.
But they sent you away from Donaldson where you was getting treatment, mental health treatment, sent you to a facility where do you get adequate treatment here? Man, do you see mental health every day here?
No, I see them every now and then, every 6 months.
Every 6 months.
See what you see.
Do you need to see them more?
I need to see them more or somebody. But
Wow. Wow. And I know you keep telling me you still hearing voices. I told you what to do in my opinion. Pray to God, talk to Jesus. And those voices come up on you. Jesus can deliver. Even when the mental health people don't want to do their jobs. You know, we're gonna try to get you a shower, get your shower stuff together and everything, and get you something, and you're gonna be all right, okay? Do you think you're gonna be all right? You hope so? Okay, you can't cut yourself, okay? Don't cut yourself like that. This is another disaster waiting to happen. Mental health treatment here is not as good as it's just as bad as medical treatment. Mental health inmates are suffering, from situations of mental disease and illness, and they need help. We're gonna try to get you some help. The public will try to get you some help today. Okay, we're gonna try to get you some help. All right. Okay. All right.
My name's Steve Cliff.
Steve Cliff, what's your AIS number?
142970.
1429 what? 70. Okay. And how long you been locked up, Steve?
37 years.
Since what year? When you got locked up?
85, August 85.
August 85.
Yeah.
My God, man. I know you've been limping lately, man. If you don't mind showing the people what's exactly wrong with you.
Because I'm sick, I ain't got no teeth.
You ain't got no teeth.
My feet here messed up and got a cataract on it. Ain't fixed up.
You got a cataract on there and they hadn't fixed it?
Whatever you call it, cataract.
Oh my
It's been
God.
3 months.
And it's hurting. I know you've been limping. It hurt to walk on it?
Yeah. I got
Wow.
a cataract right now.
You got a callus on your leg.
Yeah, cataract.
You didn't sign up for sick call, and what they keep telling you.
I got 5 of them kind of.
You got 5 sick calls in. What they keep telling you.
They never answer back.
They don't answer back.
No.
But did you go and see the doctor?
I wanted to find out.
And they said they would try to fix it, correct it.
This month, 7 months. That's all.
Have you got any pain for it?
Pain with me? No, I haven't.
No kind of pain
I
pill?
I had no paperwork showing where they did. I started medication.
That is ugly. Oh my God. 37 years, man.
Yeah, I had no paperwork where I showed why I started medication.
That's right.
And you not trying to refuse them.
Not that you really need pain medication. You need them to correct that. Can it be cut off? Or
It can be cut off. The thing was supposed to cut off last month, but they never did.
They still ain't never did. Well, we trying to get you some help, and we crying out to the public because the public is our only help. Just be honest, man, we don't get help in here. It takes pressure for these people. They will leave us in pain. I've seen so many inmates with hernias in their stomachs and being told, hey, man, you just have to live with it. If the public don't hear us and cry out to us, we in trouble, man. So I just pray that the public, somebody reach out to the people right now and respond back to this situation. He has categories on his feet, and he's in need of emergency help. Okay, my brother, can I get your name for the record, please?
Archie Fred Gillette.
Archie Fred Gillette. Okay, and what's your AIS number?
24 94 17.
And to my understanding, I think you told me a year ago you had a stroke, right?
Yeah.
And did you have to go to a free world hospital for treatment?
No, I didn't go for treatment. I went when I had the stroke to Jackson.
When you had the stroke, you went to Jackson. Okay, and Jackson took care of you. And that's been about a year ago. And what kind of damage did that stroke cause?
I've been a barber all my life.
I'm talking about the stroke.
The stroke messed up my whole right side and my voice.
It numbed your whole right side and your voice. Oh, that's the way you talk. That's why you talk like that. Okay, have you received any kind of physical therapy?
No.
Or have you been back to the Free World Hospital since you had the stroke?
No.
So the only follow-ups you get are from the prison doctor?
Yeah.
Okay, well, what did he recommend? I see he got you a walker. He put you in a walker, but he know that the right side of your arm is numb or slightly paralyzed and your voice is damaged. What kind of therapy did he give you besides the walker?
No.
What?
I got the paperwork to prove why I had the stroke.
Yes, and we definitely want to believe that you had the stroke and you were treated at Jackson Hospital. You were sent straight to Jackson when you had the stroke. Do you recall how long did you stay at Jackson?
About a week.
A whole week, my God. But since you had the stroke, you have not received any kind of physical therapy. No doctors came to see you to try to maneuver your arms.
No.
So you just been sitting here.
Yeah.
How often do you get a chance to see the doctor? And do you know this doctor's name? This doctor here stayed in prison.
No.
We gotta try to get his name, because this just don't make sense. You had a stroke, and I know you have problems walking. Your voice is gone. You got your whole right side of your arm is numb. You get no physical, and your leg, because you can't hardly walk, and you get no physical therapy. And it's documented in your medical file, your institutional records. This is just straight up ridiculous. This is straight up ridiculous. This just don't make sense. Okay, we're gonna see what we can do at this point on, bro. Trying to help him right now. Get his clothes together. He just urinate on himself. He got a damaged hip or a broken hip and can't do nothing for himself. He don't even have sheets on his bed. Trying to get him some help. Can't walk to the chow hall. If he go to the bathroom, it's a possibility he could fall. So last night, I guess he didn't want to get up and he had to urinate on himself. And now we're trying to change his clothes out for him.
What time it is?
Got a damaged hip, and it's 9:41. Got a damaged hip, and brother here trying to help him out. Get his clothes cleaned up. Get his clothes cleaned up from him. It look like they need to be washed.
Stand up, put them boxes. We're gonna put these on. Stand up. Take them off, I'm gonna slide these on your leg. Then I stand you up. Come on. Yeah. Try to get these boxes.
Urinating clothes.
Take them off. Put them on off. Hey, all right, man. Come on, just put all those in the bag together.
They're trying to get his clothes together.
Hey.
That one right here?
Yeah, in the box.
All this, that's it. Okay,
Watch all that. In the box. Take both of them off.
Watch all that.
Okay. Let me get you this.
Trying to get them clean, my God. My God. Trying to get them cleaned up and get all these clothes washed and just get them some help. Best way we can. Do you got some more socks?
I got some socks. So I got you, man. I want to put some stuff on you, man.
Yeah, you got to put them pants back on. Just trying to do the best we can in this situation. I refuse to walk by and see a man in this shape and not take any kind of action. Refuse to. This is sad. Think the Alabama Department of Corrections care? Think the nursing staff care? Think anybody care? Trying to put his clothes up.
Appreciate that, bro.
Okay. You got to pull his clothes off. He need to pull his clothes off.
Take these off.
Wow. He changed his clothes, so. Hey, Mr. Townley, you just came back from the Free World Hospital? You see that wrist on his hand just came back. What hospital did you go to, Mr. Townley? He ain't sure. What did he say?
You went to Jackson? Did you go to Jackson Hospital?
He ain't sure. He went to a local hospital. This is the guy that could not walk because we was up on the impression that he had a broken hip, and he went to the local hospital. What hospital does it say? I think he went to Jackson Hospital, and he doesn't have a broken hip. He got X-rays. He doesn't have a broken hip. We think, and the doctors draw his blood, and they said it was determined that he has cancer inside of his stomach. We don't know how long he has cancer in that area that's affecting his walking and causing the pain. They gave him a wheelchair. His bed still got, well, he got sheets. We got sheets now, so we just got to make up his bed. But he does have cancer, but no broken bones. X-rays have confirmed he has no broken bones. And he wants some water right now. But due to social media pressure, got him to the Free World Hospital. And you know how important it is to detect cancer before it spreads too bad. We don't know how long he has had cancer, but we know that it's very important to catch cancer. And this is why he's been in pain. He hasn't been in pain because of broken hip. This man has cancer eating through his body. I wish it don't say what hospital.
It got something like
that might be Jackson.
A-H and M.
Anthony Townsend. Yeah, he got cancer though. They say he got cancer. Oh yeah. And man, y'all keep him in prayer. We thank God for TikTok and all social media outlets that got this man the attention he needs. So many calls were made to this facility, to the emails of our commissioner and our governor. So many calls were made, and this may have saved this man's life because now they begin to treat the cancer immediately. Start treating the cancer to try to get him some immediate help. This man has cancer eating through his body in his stomach torso area, and those who believe in the power of prayer healing do it.
I guess reality started to make a lot of people in the free world uncomfortable because Bernard began receiving backlash from people who weren't happy with the videos he uploaded to TikTok. So Bernard made a video addressing the criticism.
Good morning. I took the time this weekend to try to read a lot of replies and comments to my videos on TikTok, and a lot of positive, encouraging words, but it's also a few negative words that was said, and it's just funny how my Christianity or my belief is challenged because I have a cell phone in prison. and it's amazing. Your cell phones, I think, is the biggest blessing that came inside prison. You say it's contraband. Okay, the world needs to see what's going on in these slave camps in Alabama. And how inmates are working for pennies on the dollar, and the state is making millions and millions and millions. The inmate abuse, the medical neglect, despite inmates having life insurance, not life medical insurance, they are still being medically neglected from certain treatments that can prevent or prolong their lives. Cancer patients can have their lives prolonged. Things like that. Inmates are dying almost every other day in Alabama, whether it be overdose, homicide, or suicide. Inmates wake up here every morning in a hopeless environment, a hopeless situation. They feel that the parole board is not letting anybody go. Certificates are not doing any good. It's an atmosphere of inmates who are basically saying, hey man, what do we have to live for? Let's get high. And you got inmates like me. We are in this environment, and it's very concerning. It's very concerning. The public should be made aware. Pictures tell 1,000 words. Pictures and videos show things that a regular statement or a complaint doesn't show. It's very important. I have no conviction by having a cell phone, especially when it's used to help people. And for those who feel like, well, why does he have a cell phone? If you was in this situation for 24 years, if you have been beaten by the police, hog-tied, forced with medication, spent 13 years in an isolated segregation cell, if you've been through some of the things I've been through, you will want a cell phone. You will want to try to make it home to your family at all costs. You will want to try to help people who are suffering and hurting. If you were in this situation, you would want a cell phone to try to bring exposure and awareness that a lot of white inmates mistreated by black guards, a lot of racial motivation stuff going on. You will want to try to bring awareness to the public. This stuff isn't right. This stuff isn't right. And I stand on my conviction. I stand on my principles and morals. This isn't right, and it needs to be dealt with, and I'm going to do whatever it takes. If I'm punished in the process, then so be it. We just living in the most hateful day when people get pleasure out of seeing people suffer. I don't understand that.
Once officials at Staton Correctional Facility became aware of Bernard's videos, he was sent to segregation.
Quick video to let you know what's going on with me. I just received word by the wardens, people close to her, I just say it like that, that they are about to put me in segregation and close me out. And put me in lockup for some months because of videos, because of me spreading awareness to the public about our living conditions here at Staton. And I talked to the warden yesterday, and the warden was of the opinion that she would not lock me up and she let me back out, but maybe this has been a higher up call. Only two other people higher up than the warden call, and that's the commissioner or the governor, Ivey herself. Somebody has called, one of those two has made the decision to put me in segregation. Usually you don't put an inmate in segregation unless he poses some kind of threat or creating some kind of security hazard. All I have done was just bring awareness to the public about inmates dying in a hopeless situation, receiving lack of medical care and mental health care, and that's all I have done. And nothing deserving of lockup. And I pray, I ask to be, I just ask that you pray for me. And I'm continuing to remain strong. I'm not bitter. It's a good fight.
A leader of an advocacy group called Both Sides of the Wall made posts on social media alleging Bernard had been beaten up by officials in segregation and that the warden was sticking false disciplinaries on him to keep him in isolation for 6 to 12 months. Advocates from both sides of the wall, Incarcerated Families United, and other prison advocacy groups began scheduling Zoom calls with inmates who were respected amongst their peers, asking them to persuade other incarcerated individuals to participate in a statewide shutdown to protest inhumane conditions amongst other things.
It is official. All flyers are starting to circulate. Word of mouth is getting out. And now a video from yours truly. September the 26th, we will be outside the Alabama Department of Corrections protesting amongst God knows how many people for the lives of those behind the walls. But as we're outside fighting for them, they're also supporting the cause too. They're standing up for themselves against the state of Alabama and the Department of Corrections in every facility that they're in. As of today, it is official that I can announce it. Shutdown starts September the 26th and does not start back until the demands are met. And a list of demands will also be circulated. Nobody goes to work September the 26th. ADOC can do it all.
A list of proposals were created which reads, "We, the incarcerated citizens in ADOC, demand that the U.S. Justice Department intervene and put an immediate stop to Alabama's systemic denial of our human dignity and rights. The state of Alabama is in the midst of a humanitarian crisis due to Eighth Amendment violations. This crisis has occurred as a result of antiquated sentencing laws that led to overcrowding, numerous deaths, severe physical injury, as well as mental anguish to incarcerated individuals. This humanitarian crisis led to the Department of Justice filing suit against Ivey and ADOC, yet nothing has changed or gotten better, only worse. Therefore, for the sake of our lives, we are exercising our First Amendment right to peacefully protest this unconstitutional, unsafe, and hyper-exploitative system. We need help, and we need it now. As one unit, we band together and state the following. Repeal the habitual offender law immediately. Make the presumptive sentencing standards retroactive immediately. Repeal the drive-by shooting statute. Create statewide conviction integrity unit. Mandatory parole criteria that will guarantee parole to all eligible persons who meet the criteria. Streamlined review process for medical furloughs and review of elderly incarcerated individuals for immediate release. Reduction of the 30-year minimum for juvenile offenders to no more than 15 years before they are eligible for parole. Do away with life without parole.
Hey, you'll tell my folks what the shutdown's all about and stuff like that so they can know what's going on with us.
What it's about?
Yeah.
I mean, shit, man, the inmates just tired, boy. We've been going through so much, man, watching people die, watching just all kind of mistreatment, man. It's like that, you know what I mean? You ain't with us, ain't no police in here. We going through so much. They treating us bad, they ain't letting us go home. We going up for parole, we doing these programs. It's crazy, and it's just like that. You know, we live inside an environment that's so crazy that, you know, we want help. You know, it's crazy that we'll be asking for it, but we really need help, man. It ain't that. You know, I guess the police do the best they can, but it ain't nothing. You know, when you ain't got no officers here and you got a lot of dudes here, it's a lot of crazy stuff going on. A lot of us trying to come here and do what we're supposed to do and go home. So we want help, man. We want to be able to do the thing we're supposed to do so we go home and be with our families. And then they ain't letting us go. You know, the parole board is like non-existent. We ain't, you know, we losing hope. And when you got a place full of people that's losing hope, what you think gonna happen? We you know, like at this camp alone, man, I don't watch over 40 people die this year. How many people in lifetime watch 40 people die? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's beyond comprehension. And we fight, man, we tired. You know, we want to be at home with our families. Just like myself, I've been locked up 31, 32 years. I want to go home and be with my family. And then you got KI saying stuff like, you know, they won't let out these kind of, we being unreasonable. But what's unreasonable? Want to go home? And give these officers the thing that we against them, some kind, they tripping. You know, we merely fighting for our freedom, we fighting for our lives. And you got some of these officers act like we against them, but we not. You know, we trying to let people know what's going on. It's down here, we losing hope. They ain't letting us go. You know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of us protesting. A lot of us been here all our lives. We've been doing all these jobs, working. And ain't nobody saying they ain't letting us go. They always talk about getting in the prisons, but what about the ones of us who've been in here doing the things that we supposed to do? What about the ones of us who ain't here illegally? What about the ones of us who are innocent? I mean, it's still this going on. This been proven. We wonder why ain't nobody helping us. The DOJ filed a lawsuit, and when they filed a lawsuit, we had to wait 2 years for them to even take these people to trial. And a whole while people dying. So that's why we rallying. That's why we striking. It ain't nothing else we can do. We can't get violent and get stupid. So we just trying to show what's going on by not doing that. We want to go home too. We humans. People, there's a lot of stuff go on that we wish we could change. And we know everybody not ready. But what about the ones that are? What about these laws? We in Alabama, a state that the federal government took it over before. It was overcrowded like in the early 70s. And the federal government kept it for like 10, 15 years. They had to let a lot of people go. So this has happened before. And we need help. I mean, it really ain't no more simple than that. That's why you asked me that, man, because how I feel about it, you know what I'm saying? It's just, we need help, man, and what else can we do? And people get mad because we can tell the truth. Like the officers, they know we ain't lying. They know it ain't safe in here. They know there ain't enough for them to be safe. And then you got women working here. It ain't safe for them. It ain't enough officers for them to be safe. It ain't enough inmates. We have to take care of each other and be safe. Man, you live in here, they lock us in here with no officer here. Yeah, so, they doing that. Man, what else can we do? They wrong. And we right here. And we need help, and we need everybody to come out and help us. The people who do got a little compassion, we need some help, brother. And that's what really is all about.
This is not the first time Alabama prisons have been on strike. In the past, prison staff performed services previously fulfilled by inmates. However, due to recent staff shortages, they are now busing in work release prisoners as temporary replacement workers, commonly known as scabs. An inmate at Limestone Correctional Facility interviewed a work release prisoner who said he feared for his life after being bused from the North Alabama Community Work Center in Decatur to work against the protesting inmates.
My name is LeBron Gregory. They forced me to come over here from Decatur, put my life in jeopardy by working against the inmates, my own people, just in a peaceful protest from Lieutenant Odell. Told me I had to come over here no matter what. And I told him I wasn't going to work, he still made me come.
You know what I'm saying? They brought you from Decatur to the line in order to work in the kitchen.
Level 2.
Right, I'm saying that you was in the kitchen, they forcing y'all in the kitchen. How did the kitchen down here to the block?
I just walked out with beat on them and it's eating.
Found y'all to mingle, so your life in jeopardy to somebody.
Yeah, they stepped up and left the gate open. Anybody could have walked in there just like I walked out.
All right, then what'd you say your name is again?
LeBron Gregory.
And you goddamn assigned to what institution?
Decatur, North Alabama Community Work Center.
All right, and where you at right now?
Limestone.
Yeah, Limestone Correctional Facility, being forced to work in the kitchen by officers because there's a strike going on at Limestone. Yeah. So what is going on at Decatur in regards to how they treating the shutdown? What they saying to y'all over there?
They done locked 2 or 3 people up for refusing to come over here. Put them in a lockup cell.
All right.
They're still in there right now.
All right. I heard that Warden Pickens was threatening to send people back to West Jefferson or send them to Donaldson or send them somewhere.
Except they won't come over here and work. They're going to send them to West Jefferson Squad.
You're going to send them to West Jefferson Squad. All right. I definitely appreciate you for taking, time out to share this with us, because this is important. This is one of the deficiencies of this system, that your life been placed in danger intentionally.
I believe in what you're doing. I got 21 years sentence. Y'all helping me.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like I told Odell, I'm not with you. I'm a convict, and convicts on strike. I'm not going against them.
And they forcing y'all to go against.
They forced me to come over here.
And then you know that when people who on strike see other people break the strike and work with the administration, that places your life in extra danger.
Yeah, but it makes them angry because what they're working for from Decatur inmates are working against them. Yeah. When they go in there and work, it's stopping DOC from spending money or officers from doing that job that you're supposed to be doing. Decatur inmates are doing it. Just fun, and taking DOC side right there in my eyes.
All right, well, let me ask you one more question. Who came to you and brought it to you that you had to go to Limestone? What was that conversation like?
But they called me to the queue. They called a bunch of us queue last night, told me Lieutenant Odell called us queue, told us we had to check out. We didn't have no choice.
It's Lieutenant Odell.
And I told him, I said, I'm gonna go over and mess all kinds of stuff up, and I'm gonna mess up so bad that you're not gonna want me to go back. He said, why ain't you telling me this? I said, because I'm trying to be honest with you. Say me and you the trouble. You put me on that van and send me over there.
And he still forced you to come.
And he still made me come.
All right, now what your name is again?
It was either come over here or go to lockup.
LeBron Gregory.
Yeah.
All right, we appreciate you, LeBron Gregory. I'm talking about whatever the consequences of this video may be, you can be assured that we're gonna make sure you all right, because you have just proved our point.
I ain't worried about it. I might be back over here with y'all in a couple days.
All right, we got you when you come.
I like it here.
According to Christina Horvath, an organizer with both sides of the wall, LeBron Gregory has since been placed in the segregation unit at Limestone Correctional for leaving the kitchen where he was assigned in order to join the striking inmates. Alabama prisoners have shared alleged tactics of retaliation from prison officials, which include beatings and pictures of skimpy food portions, with some calling it an attempt to starve out protests. However, prison officials insist the changes to meals are not acts of retaliation, but simply a matter of capacity, since the people who typically cook are not working.
Hey, y'all don't bang on the window, bro. Look. Coming in. Look at what's going on. Ooh, shoot. I don't care nothing about that. Nothing about that. Bro, they beat me in the ass, bro. Get back, don't try to call us.
Ain't nobody in the queue. How we supposed to get help if there ain't nobody in the queue? Nobody in the queue, man. How we supposed to get help?
This is brothers at Staton Correctional Facility. They were beating each and every inmate this morning. 2 pieces of bread, one piece of little fruit, and peanut butter and 1 milk. This is ridiculous. Somebody needs to do something about this. Just because the inmate don't want to work.
Inmates have found a way to combat the food shortages by coming together to share their resources.
I'm gonna show y'all unity from the top, man. Now look at the line of people. Everybody lined up to eat. It's about community, man. About unity, man. Look at them brothers down there serving. That's what I'm talking about. That's what it's gonna take. We gotta pitch in. We gotta get together, come together. It's the only way we win. We gotta come together and unify. We gotta look out for each other. Want for my brother what I want for myself.
In hopes of ending the labor strike, prison officials at Staton Correctional Facility held a meeting with respected inmates to come to a resolution.
So what was said at the meeting? Nothing. Actually, When we were all brought up there abruptly, an impromptu meeting, was not planned by anyone. They went and hand-selected 3 guys
from each dorm,
to whom no one in these dorms wanted going up there. So each dorm sent their representatives up there. And when their representatives got up there, our officer tried to tell us hold it down because they were having parole hearings in there. I said, no, we're not going to hold it down. We need to discuss the semantics of what we're going to discuss with the administration. You can find another venue for the parole man because that's just an exercise in futility. That man ain't finna get that parole. And y'all can find another venue to put that in. You always do. We need to talk. All right. So once we talk, we were under a unilateral, uniform agreement that we ain't got no talk, but we will listen to the demands of the administration as interested observers so that we can take some back to you. She said, well, first, y'all need to sign this list so I know who. I said, whoa, Ward, with all due respect to your position, that's a bad idea. We don't need to be putting these men's names down on no list. They're taking considerable risk coming up here talking to you anyway. They don't know what we're talking about. We might be undermining or hurting these men. They trust us. So if they trust us to send us up there, they know who they sending up there. So you don't need no list. That list is a weapon at some point. Because if this meeting don't go the way you want it, guess who on that list? The men that made that meeting not go the way you want it. All right? I, for one, is not going to be one of those men. So when I walked out, everybody else walked out.
That was good.
That was it. All 30.
That's good.
So
I like it.
Get the shit, man. That's why you ride me out there. I don't give a fuck. They don't like people that can speak and articulate. They don't like to see this type of solidarity. They don't like to see this type of unity.
Right. Explain to the people the purpose of the strike, the shutdown, how we trying to knock the money out of DOC hands.
The purpose of the shutdown, what we have to understand is that slavery, peonage, prisons are all inextricably tied to industry. That's why it is referred to as the prison industrial complex. Mm-hmm. All right. These are humans. These are citizens of this state who have made colossal errors in judgment that you call crimes. Their behavior should not be criminalized. All right. We're only doing what our foreparents and our forefathers taught us to do. Try passive resistance first. Passive resistance has always been the most effective weapon in the poor, black, brown, and poor white communities in America. We don't have the arms now that we once had. We can't arm up with pitchforks. They got nuclear weapons to thwart those efforts now. So we have to use the most power that's available to us, manpower. So now this sit-in, this strike, is a passive resistant attempt to let the administration, the state of Alabama, the United States of America, and the global interest that fuel all of this rapacious greed to take notice that these are still human souls. These are still citizens of these states. Be they broken as they are, be as disenfranchised as they are. These are sons and daughters of the taxpayers of this state. And they should be listened to. They should be heard, and their demands, they're not demands. These are not demands. We're not making any demand. We're asking you to set the record straight and do the right thing by your citizens. Quit taking copious amounts of money and dumping it into the prison complex while our education systems are defaulting, while our elderly are eating dog food, and our neighborhoods are becoming dilapidated so that major corporations can come in under revitalization programs and sell them to the uber rich. We're tired of it.
Speaking of money, where's all the money going that DOC makes? DOC makes millions of dollars on commissary yearly alone.
The lion's share of that money goes into private interests, private pensions, the judiciary's private research. Check retirement systems of Alabama and see where the lion's shares of this money goes. It goes into other investments for the state and their state pension plan. The good old boys have a golden parachute even when they quit. That's where that money goes.
So it's safe to say that ADOC is running a racket.
It is safe to say that ADOC is probably one of the most overt criminal enterprises that has been in perpetual operation for at least 100 years.
It's plain on its face. They have no gambling. No NFL, no NBA,
because
no soccer,
many
no
of
nothing.
these politicians and their constituents are keeping gambling away from the state of Alabama so that they can be able to monopolize on these various prison industrial complexes.
Alabama has more prisons and universities than any state.
Exactly.
Has the biggest constitution in any state.
And the highest paid state official happens to be a fucking football coach, not an educator.
We got more laws than any state. And we're still under the 1975 codes and statutes. That's the problem.
And the 1906 Constitution, which was specifically designed to remedy the Negro problem.
When the inmates at Staton Correctional Facility didn't agree to the terms of the proposals from prison officials, an inmate who was one of the voices for their peers was transferred to a different facility.
They're packing you up just because you wouldn't sign a paper yesterday to try to stop the protest, stop the strike.
That's how they do, Brother Bilal, baby. We do it like that. But the struggle continues. Bury the man, continue to fucking plan. Don't know one man stop it. One man can make a difference. And we're gonna make a difference.
They're trying to remove you because you're the voice of the people.
That's all right. Voice of the people. You in the immortal words of Brother Fred Hampton, you can kill a revolutionary, but you can't kill the revolution. Right. Keep on fighting.
We win it.
I ain't leaving here with my tail tucked. I'm leaving here with my head held high. They can't send me nowhere I ain't been, and they can't send me nothing that I can't come. I just want the brothers to continue to fight, man. Don't stop. We got them where we want them.
We got them where we want them. It's a sign right here we're doing something right.
Just take care of each other, man. Let these folks come between.
Allah knows all.
Well, wherever I'm headed, the struggle continues. I'm here to pull out so I can get with my little brother Fox and really get this shit together.
Meanwhile, at Limestone Correctional Facility, an emergency phone zap was put into place by advocates to speak with an inmate who was allegedly assaulted by guards and placed in solitary confinement for helping to expose ADOC and participating in the Alabama prison strike.
September 28th, Officer brought several inmates from other dormitories into the dorm to come talk to me. As the officers had began going around the prison trying to find out what they could do to get people to go back to work. And once they got a group of people together, they came and talked to me, and I explained to them that was not our goal, that was not our objective. We were doing this for a goal, for a objective. We were doing it for the comfort of the officers, for the help of the officers be able to run the prison. That was not the point of what we were doing. So I told everyone in the group, as well as the officer, that we were on strike until we were able to see our opportunity to go home, which is repealing the habitual felony and making the sentencing guidelines retroactive. That's what will give us an opportunity to be able to work out a way back to our families. So that's what we're on strike about. We're not on strike about seeing how long we could go on strike, or how long we could be fed one meal a day, or how long we could go without receiving medical treatment, or how long we could go without mental health counseling. That was not our goal and our objective. So I refused the administration's plea to get everybody to go back to work. After that, guys came back again and said that they were willing. I have a few partners of mine that are in segregation and have them for years, and the administration refuses to let them out. Yesterday, they offered to let 3 of my friends out of SEG, who have been in SEG for years, if everybody could go back to work.
I kind of got irate with the group and told them, don't play with me. And what they let them out of lockup, what they still gonna walk around and they got a chance to go home. When they let them out, then I don't know why y'all coming to me with these pleas from the administration. Why are y'all even talking to the administration? Why are you even concerned about him talking about how hard it is to feed a meal? If y'all come on back first, everybody can eat like they're supposed to, and we can do this. That's what you paid to do anyway. That's your job. That's not our responsibility. And after that, we made clear that we wasn't coming on strike, and that we were solidified in our strike from Limestone, Fountain, Bill, Mamas, and like we were solidified in our conversation that this is what we were doing. So we weren't going back to work to make life easier for 23, 24 officers who trying to run a prison with 2,300 people. About an hour after that, 13 and several officers came into B dormitory where I sleep. They came in on my side and they counted. They did the count. They left out on my side, went across the hall to the other side and counted the other side. And when they came from counting, like they were getting ready to go out of the building, they all came back onto the side I sleep in, and all of them went directly to my cell. I was not in my cell. I was in the TV room watching the news. One of the officers hit the window of the TV room and told me to come to my cell. When I got up and went to my cell, there was an officer from the 13 inside my cell, and one was standing outside my cell. So when I went into the cell, they asked me did I have any contraband, and I clarified I didn't. I submitted to a strip search. After I went through the strip search, I stepped out of my cell to allow them to shake my cell down. And while I was standing outside the cell, as they were shaking down, one of them told me that when we finish shaking you down, you can go and pack your property. You going to restricted housing. So I said, go to restricted housing for what? I ain't broke no rules. I ain't violated no ADOC regulations. So what you mean I got to go to restricted housing? I'm saying it's 120 people and they all doing the exact same thing. So why is it that I am targeted and harassed and intimidated to try to make everybody go to work? So I said, well, you might as well get your supervisor and get some body cams. So when the world can see how y'all treat a person who's non-violent, who ain't broke no rules or regulations, and this is just what you want to do to try to undermine the strike, to try to get these people to go back to work so y'all can get back to making the money that the state of Alabama makes. And at that point, one grabbed me by one arm and tried to break my wrist. One grabbed me by the leg, and then they slammed me to the floor and drew. About 4 more came and they drew me out of the dorm and threw me on a trash cart outside and pulled me to the infirmary on a trash cart with handcuffs that were so tight on my hand that I can't even feel my fingers today. Right now, I can't feel my fingers. But I was taken to the infirmary, asked my name, and received no medical treatment, didn't look at my injuries, didn't check my bio, and I was brought to segregation and placed in a cell with no property or nothing for several hours until late last night. They brought my property to me.
Inmates are still going strong, showing unity, and trying to keep their spirits up. If you're interested in participating, advocates from both sides of the wall are holding a Break Every Chain rally on October 14th at the Alabama State Capitol at 9 a.m. If you enjoyed this video, please share, leave your thoughts down in the comment section below, and I will talk to you in my next video.
When you hear me praying, I got Jesus on my mind. When you hear me praying, I got Jesus on my mind. When you hear me praying, I got Jesus on my mind. I got Jesus, Jesus on my mind. Now when you hear me shouting, I got Jesus on my mind. When you hear me shouting, I got Jesus on my mind.